We're going to start the Town of Sangerville Board of Selectmen meeting. It's 5:03, November 7th, 2018. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, we need to recess to have the hearing?
Oh, yeah, we probably should do that.
Okay, we have a general assistance hearing.
Make a motion to recess for the general assistance hearing, public hearing on the general assistance ordinance.
Second, those in favor, it is unanimous, and it is now 5:04, and we will begin the public hearing on the new general assistance ordinance.
So you can see this is the ordinance back to back. That's pretty.
Haven't had a chance to read it.
No, me either, and they wanted to make sure I did. So it's 100 pages.
Well, just a light read.
It's a
right?
light read, yeah, but it has all of the updates for example, if somebody comes in and they're under the age of 25, and we can give them assistance, but we also have to bill their parents. We don't have to bill their parents, but we can bill their parents. But we don't have to give them assistance because they're under 25 and they should be getting assistance from their parents. So it's all new updates. This is the newest version. It is August of 2017, so we want to make sure that we do have the newest ordinance so that we can bill the parents in the event. If we don't have the proper ordinance, we can't do that.
If my kid comes through, you can just give him a boot.
That's right. Don't be
I'll be
loaning-
on the record for
Oh,
that.
I don't have any under
You have
25.
permission, so.
Yeah, what if the parents say, that's not right, you should have asked me first. Do you have to ask the parents?
You call the
first?
parents.
Oh,
Call the
first.
parents. Can you give them assistance? And if they say no, well, if we give them assistance, we're gonna send you a bill anyway. That's
That
how.
seriously
doesn't
seems,
work.
it sounds
That
so
does-
wrong though. I mean, I know it's the way it is and I'm not.
That just
whatever.
doesn't work, because
Yeah.
they're gonna say, well, no.
Yeah, but
Do you have to give them assistance?
Up to what age?
I don't
25.
have to up to age 25.
Oh, good.
But you can vote when you're 18.
That's true.
But you can get billed by your parents at 25. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
So that's all I can tell you about the ordinance. I mean, it is new, and it's because of the new laws and stuff that come up. And every so often, I think it's every 2 years they do an update on the ordinance itself. Not just before. All we did was just the appendices at the back with the guidelines. Yeah, that as you update every year, but the ordinance itself, you don't have to update once you've done it, but it's a good idea because you want to follow the laws.
Things change.
Yeah.
So will you sit and read that? I mean, is that something you will do?
I will have to because it also, I mean, the stuff in here too is also like if somebody dies and they don't have the funds, yeah, and so a family member can come in and apply in their place, but there are laws. I mean, I've heard it two different ways now, being in two different towns, but years apart. So, originally I was told if the funeral home does not contact the town within 24 hours, then you're not liable to pay. But then I've told recently that if they have a longer span to contact you. So that's all in here. So yes, I will make sure that I read through and the things that are most prevalent. I mean, some of the stuff is city stuff with homeless shelters and stuff like that, which we
It's
don't
not
have,
applicable to us.
and it's not applicable. But I mean, it could be.
Sure.
Just briefly look through most of it.
Right.
So a municipality can be liable for final expenses.
Yes.
I did not.
We have paid one. We've signed one.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I know some municipalities though that have refused to pay. So I don't know the law, but I know that's being.
Well, I have refused to pay in Bradford because the funeral home did not contact me within a certain number of days, and then they sent me a bill. Like 2 weeks later, and I said,
Sorry.
You didn't contact me in the time frame. I'm not paying
You
it.
have no recourse against their estate?
They don't have an estate because they're
Indigent.
Yeah.
But nobody knows how many antiques were there or
Correct,
cash in the drawer.
yeah.
So I can imagine some municipalities have had that sort of a spat. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've heard the other one, the municipality didn't pay because the people were told the parents made enough money, they need to. So you-
Well,
Literally to
in
that.
the event of
Which
a
I
death,
thought
you
was-
are supposed to contact parents, and children, and I'm not sure how much, but parents and children, I know if somebody dies, you need to
go
call
after
them and
them
say,
first.
how much can you pay? How much can you pay? How much can you
Wow.
pay? And so the state, I mean, the town is only obligated for $750 for a cremation, but a lot of funeral homes charge like $1,500 for a cremation. So, and I've talked to some of the funeral homes and they said, if the state if the town pays,
Yeah.
then the funeral home.
Oh, can only charge $750.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like,
Yes.
Yeah, it's like Medicare.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And then, and if I say, well, I'm gonna give them, $550 because the family said they could pay this.
Yeah.
Then the family.
Then the test. Yeah.
The funeral home has to collect the money, not us. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
So, how long do we
further?
have to have this open? Make a motion to go out of our public hearing?
Yeah, there's a second, there's nobody here. I mean,
All right, anybody wants to speak? No, apparently not. I would second her motion to
adjourn
Dale
public
did.
hearing.
adjourn the
did.
public hearing. Okay, it is unanimous. Now, we need a motion
we
to
need to
go.
vote.
I said it was unanimous.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll make a motion to go back into our meeting, select board meeting.
Second.
Not getting a second here. Yes. Any further discussion? We vote, we're back in our meeting, and it is 5:10. On to item 2, approval of minutes.
They're all there.
I'd like to make a motion, I mean, we can, but, may I make a motion about the
You
minutes?
can make one anytime you want to.
To go ahead and approve the October 17th select board meeting, because you did provide those to us, right, Lois?
Yeah,
On
the 19th.
Yeah. But table the B, C, and D, October 22, 23, 31, because I just haven't had it. I know
Yeah.
you provided
Yeah.
them.
I haven't seen them either.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know they're short,
They are.
but
Yeah.
if we could just table them, and then we'll,
Second?
thanks.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Any further discussion on that?
Nope.
All in favor? Unanimous? Which brings us to item 3, review of treasurer's warrants. Payroll, 143, 145, 147.
Can we just,
I thought.
I haven't signed, did you sign it?
Nobody signed up.
Nobody
Oh,
signed
oh.
anything yet.
Yeah, we gotta
Do you
go through
want-
it before we approve.
Do you-
Yeah. You wanna do it, you want to look
Yeah,
at them
just-
now
You wanna-
first? Okay.
Yeah,
Take a recess and,
yeah,
Yep,
recess, I'll make a motion to recess.
for perusal of the
just-
articles.
Second.
Yep.
Yep. All in favor?
Yep.
Unanimous. Okay, it's 5:20 and we're back. We've all signed and read and we're ready to go again. So we're back in session.
So,
So I will move to item 3. A, payroll, number 143, 145, and 147. Accounts payable, 139, 140, 141, 142, 144, 146, and 148.
Make a motion to approve all.
Second,
Any further discussion? None? Let's vote. All 3, that's good. We have no guests, so no open session. Selectmen concerns, well, one was this parking lot. And now that we've seen the other parking lot, seems like we've got to get somebody to clean those up before we throw another 3 inches of silt on them.
yeah.
And along with that would be prepping that around the public works area for winter maintenance. Also, something else that, while I was waiting for everybody, I was reading my main town and city.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, a town was sued because a citizen went into their sand shed. It fell, the sand caved in on them, and there were no authorized people only signs, no trespassing, and they prevailed in the lawsuit. I was just up there, we have no signs. So I think,
We do have, when we put sand out, we put it, it's like right out where they put that,
oh, this community did the same thing, but the pile in back had no warning signs. So we need to put up no trespassing, authorized personnel only, so that if someone does venture out there, they can't sue us for not having
Well,
warned them.
that's the other thing too, is we do have that gate that I know the guys don't like keeping up, but
Right.
that gate for this conversation is essential.
Well, the sign actually is more important. If you gate it and you don't warn, you're still gonna lose a
No,
lawsuit.
the sign has
Really?
always been
Yeah.
on the gate,
Oh, well, that would help then,
Oh,
as it kills two
but
birds.
no trespassing, hang right off that
Then they
cable,
can't
so.
steal your sand either.
Well,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
salt, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a bin right full
Yeah.
of salt up there.
Yeah.
But the signage is very important.
Yeah.
Evidently, this community found out that hard way.
wow.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
any other selectmen, what's that?
It's a big once
I
of
said,
that.
what page was that?
Yeah, it's right, you'll
Probably
get
towards
it.
the end, I
It was a
think,
big
isn't
once of
it?
that, you can't miss it.
It's in the yellow, yeah, the
Oh.
risk management section.
Whoa, okay.
And they went in the building even.
Jeez,
Yeah.
jeez. Oh,
And the town probably had the building overfilled, because all towns do that, fit as much sand and
Oh,
salt
no,
as
it
they
doesn't look
can.
bad, I mean, by the picture, you can't really, but
Yeah.
if you go by Corinna right now, there's like 5 loads coming out of the door. It's all,
Whoa, whoa.
that is so full, it's literally, it's like way out to here.
whoa.
Yeah.
Theirs is way over.
I did in Brent, I mean, it's a 2,500 yard building, and I put in 3,500.
Popping shingles.
Any further concerns? Road committee report? Or committee report, road commissioner?
So the only thing that we, did you take on my paper?
I did not touch any of your paper.
I just have so few. So Silver's Mills Road, we're doing the paving out on the Silver's Mills Road, and our estimate is for 1.1 miles on, that's what we went to town meeting, the special town meeting was for 1.1 miles. To go all the way to the Brockway Mills to where he left off, it's 1.3 miles, so we've got an extra 0.2 of a mile. And he and I have talked about it for a few days, and he's got us down to 155,000 to do all of shim and overlay. And I can come up with most of it out of what we have for our budget and the extra 125,000. But he calculated at 150,000, we can get 2,113 ton of pavement. And the shim is gonna take about 900 ton, which leaves 1,200 ton for the surface at 1.5 inch. To actually finish it, you need 1,258 ton. So it's a little bit more than, I mean, it's 58 ton. And he said, it's a shame to get that close and not finish it. So what I would like to do is pay him the 1.1 miles, let him finish it, pay him the 1.1 miles, now when we get the bill. And at the end of the year, when we do our closeout to see how much is left in the public works budget, pay that much more towards the paving, and then whatever's left, pay it in January as part of next year's budget. Because that 0.2 of a mile wasn't calculated. And it's not gonna be much.
Like what, how much? Like dollars?
I'm thinking maximum probably around 15, but probably less depending on what we can use out of our incidental budget too. Because we can use up to 7,000 is what we have left right now in the incidental. So we can use that towards this as well.
And is that for when you were saying pay in December and pay in January, 15 total? Or 15 in December, 15 in?
No,
Total.
total.
So
Yeah.
we're short.
It's all an estimation. I know
Right.
this 58 ton right here is approximately $4,500. So, and when I calculated, based on, how much money we had left, what happened, I didn't have, anyway, it doesn't matter. So, we would have been over a little bit, what we figure, 10 or 12,000, I think. So if I don't let Seth do any more work, we might be able to squeeze it out, but he really needs to finish prepping McFeeters too. So, and he said he's got about $12,000 left of work to do this fall.
Right, but I mean, my only thing is, you're saying he's got $12,000 left. I can see where this parking lot's gonna cost you $500. Up around that garage is gonna cost you, I bet that's gotta be another 500 to 1,000, getting that ready for winter. We've got blowdowns right now that realistically, a couple of guys I think should be going around and getting between the trees that need to get cleaned up from the last storm, and there's a lot of trees that, I know I've done it myself, and I know a lot of others, we've got them out of the road, but they're right there on the edge of the road.
Yeah.
And those need to be cleaned up before these guys are gonna be able to plow and wing, so I don't know what I would think that's another 500 to 1,000, I mean, $500 doesn't get you much.
No.
Well, but there's a fair amount of trees laying around, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We've got a
Well,
lot
and
of
every time-
patch we wanna get out.
Yeah, you still got
And
that coal patch
I
that needs to get
keep
out.
texting him too. Every time, you let me know there's a tree down, I text him. I know I just did Anderson Road, had to clean that culvert. I know Knowlton Mills is full. Somebody told me yesterday that culvert's full.
So I mean, you say you're gonna spend 12, but we just bounced about 15 that needs to be done.
15,000?
Well, if we don't, if we take his ditching and culvert work that he's planning on doing on McFeeters and say, okay, let's delay that till spring, now you've freed up $12,000. You still can do all the things you're talking about, so maybe you only freed up $10,000.
Right.
But in fact, I would say those things actually are a priority over the McFeeters ditching, because if we do that in the spring, we still can pave the road.
Right.
Right.
So
And
those things have to
He
be
did
done.
have to be done.
he did the.
He did the bulk of
ditching.
it. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I
He
looked
got
at
to
it,
Thomas
looked
Road.
pretty good.
Yeah, and the rest is resident, really
Yeah.
residential, so
I didn't
he's
know
gonna.
what you could do there.
I know,
It's
exactly,
just,
so,
honestly, he's not gonna do much. I
right,
mean,
exactly.
It's just,
So that can be done,
But I
there's
would
not really
rather,
ditching there, it's more or less, all they're doing is taking that lawn berm
Yeah,
from all the years of sand. It's
Yeah,
made
yeah.
the lawn
Yeah.
higher than this part. It's-
right, I mean, he did the big ditching.
I would time him out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And hit these items that Dale just mentioned, and then take what's left and use it to buy asphalt. But I'm still not clear, can you give us a dollar amount that you want to push into January based on your current strategy?
I don't have the AP from today calculated into the budget of what's left, but I can get you that tomorrow, and I.
Cause that's
email
the
you.
question.
Yes, yes.
If
Yep.
you're saying we gotta push 2,000 into next year to finish this road, that's a lot different than 20,000.
Yes.
Now, did they do any paving today?
I haven't heard from him, so I'm gonna guess maybe not.
I really thought they pulled all the equipment out yesterday.
They
Oh,
pulled it
really?
out?
Yeah,
What do you mean pulled it out?
gone, hauled it off.
It was there.
Yeah.
So they
Well,
paved
they've
somewhere
done-
today.
They've gone up and come back down.
Not, they haven't completely done all the
No, no.
shim. He told me he hasn't done all the shim
No,
yet.
he's gone up and he's come back down. Honestly, I haven't even, my wife come across him with a trailer the other night, but it's like this side of Kazmazaks maybe. I thought that's where she said, it's in
Yeah.
that area.
Yeah,
So he's got a lot of it done as far as the shim.
Yeah.
There's still some more to go.
yeah.
But I mean, he should have a really solid number right now, I would think.
Well, he gave me a solid number.
But that's after he's gotten to where he's at. He's given you
Yeah, this was after Monday's paving.
Okay.
He came in Monday afternoon, and these are the numbers that he gave me.
Okay.
So, as far as tonnage.
But we need to know
What,
what we're
We're talking
committing the
Yeah.
town
yeah.
to.
And I will get that calculated.
Because
I
without
just,
that, we can't really.
I don't know if I
You
really
consider-
like spending money for January.
I don't like it at all, but I'm open
The other
to a
thing
small
is-
number, I'm not
yeah.
open to a
Right.
big number,
Yeah,
personally, that's all.
you can overspend your budget, but you have to have it town approved post, so you'd have to have an article.
I can just see where that could come around. Not-
Yeah,
not come-
especially since we had.
It wouldn't come
meeting.
across as an
Well,
answer.
exactly.
That's why I don't like it.
I mean, I don't remember us buying a mile. I thought we said we wanted to go from where we ended
We said
to
1.3.
Brockway Mills. I thought that's what we told them we were going to have paved, and we wanted a price on that.
Well, what I said was the rest of the Silver's Mills, and I think he went with, cause originally, remember we had priced out, was it 2.2 miles?
Right, but I remember when we talked about this, we had the 1.1 miles, and then we measured the bridge when we talked about it at 1.3.
But was that after he gave us that?
No, it was before.
That's what I thought. The whole point was, we're going to the bridge.
We had a destination and we went to the town to get it done.
Correct, and if I'm the townsfolk, I'm gonna
I
say,
know,
why the hell
I
did you
know.
guys stop at 200 feet from the bridge?
I know.
And,
But the other thing that's weird, and I don't know pavement, so don't take this as I think I do, but when I think of shim, what I've always seen, it's a thin layer and you use it to smooth it, but it looks like when they started at the bridge, that looked fairly thick. Is it? I mean,
Well, I thought it looked thick too, because I
It
went,
doesn't look like shim, does it you?
but he says he's averaging an inch. And that, he says that's really what he's averaging. And that's why you see like
but
drag marks,
when
because the
you're-
rocks
Is
are,
it level there, or is it?
Honestly,
Uh-huh.
I have not,
I'm gonna go home that way, but it'll be dark, so.
well, and that's
I
my
haven't
problem,
seen it yet.
I've worked until 6 o'clock every night since I've done this, I'm going by the pictures, cause that's what I did, when you sent me those pictures, I zoomed right up, I saw all that black, cause I wasn't expecting
it
that.
looked, yeah,
I expected I would see,
Oh, like,
I figured
yeah.
you'd see the whole center, and it would be
Yeah, yeah.
mainly just that side, because, and it clearly
Shimming it
wasn't,
up,
I mean, it's
shimming it
black,
up,
the whole
yeah.
way, so
Here's what it
it
just,
looks thick, but.
here's what could happen to us, is Lois tomorrow sends us all an email and says it's gonna be $2,300. And we might all like that number. She might send us an email and say it's gonna be $15,000,
Right.
and we might not like the number, but then we're gonna have to have a meeting to approve that, unless we approve something now. So I guess, do we even wanna approve anything, or just buy what we can pay for, or, that's really the question before us. And I don't really like spending next year's money, that's not what we're supposed to be doing.
I don't think it's scaring me, we know we have some stuff left to do around town, and the way this year has been, as far as windstorms, we don't know, you know what I mean, we could end up with some more of that type of stuff. So if we put you right to 0, I think
yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
not
be
a
in
good
trouble.
idea.
but it depends, I mean, it's, when are you gonna have windstorms, you talking in December or January?
You could have 10 between now and January, we don't know. You
Yeah.
may not have any.
I, we've got snow.
Being
coming
out
this
of
Friday.
money is not
No.
good.
That's my fear, is you being no money and we have to have people go do things. I know it's not big money, but it's still,
Right.
it's money. That's my concern.
All because we didn't ask for enough.
Right. Yep. So, I guess we're gonna just pave what we can afford, and,
What will happen, if there's 200 feet left to do, and let's say we do McFeeters next year, are they even gonna be open to going over there and knocking off 200 feet for us?
I think it'd be
probably
200
would.
feet.
No,
It's gonna
cause
be a lot more than
a
that.
tenth of a mile is like 600,
Yeah, it's about
120 feet.
500,
500, yeah.
about
50.
500
I
feet.
mean,
Football field and a
well,
half.
I'm thinking of it this way. If we only did what, you got 2/10 of a mile, times 2. Because you've already,
both sides.
well, no, it's more than that, because we've already shimmed that 2/10.
Right,
So you weren't even, you know what I mean? We had X amount of money to get here, but we've already, so some of this is gonna take that other part back up even further. So we're gonna be 4/10 from that bridge.
Well, you might not even get over the crest of the hill. With,
I think
with
you're gonna
your,
be well above, you're gonna be like at the corner probably, on a gap between Casperzax and Hall, somewhere in the middle, with top coat.
so maybe they'll be willing to come back in the
Well,
spring.
the biggest thing is I hope he's gonna be able to taper both of those off and,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think it's thick enough, it ain't gonna hurt it if it sits.
Right, that's what I think.
No, and you actually, this is kind of twisted, but you actually end up with a more viable project next year, the longer the piece is. I'd almost rather be left with 1,000 feet than 200. Then they'll run over and do 1,000 feet.
Right.
Either way, it's a quick move thing enough.
Yeah, and if we're having them do a mile over here to McFeeters, they'll do it.
Is that what this is? McFeeters? A mile?
McFeeters, it's either 1.12 or 0.8 something, 87.
And we've got a chunk of East
I think it's
Sangerville we're gonna do too,
1.15.
probably.
East Sangerville, is that what you said?
Yeah,
I would rather stay on, I would rather cut that pavement short. A screw up is a screw up, it doesn't matter if you're 200 feet or you're 500 feet, we're gonna be short, we're gonna be short.
yeah,
I would
your
rather
biggest
do what we
screw up
can.
is spending improperly.
Right, right.
I would rather
Yeah,
stay
I
on
agree.
task
Yep.
and do what we
Yep.
know we've said we wanna get done.
Right.
And next time, we'll get quotes from point to point, not in
Yes.
tonnage.
Well,
Right.
he's gonna give you the time.
He's
Yeah,
gonna give you
but
tonnage.
I want, when he comes to pave my driveway, I want the whole driveway done, I don't want him stopping halfway to the mailbox. And they give me a price to do the whole driveway.
Right, everybody's gotta be on the same page.
Right,
Well,
Yeah.
and it's also,
I mean, for us to talk in tonnage to him about
Right.
McFeeters,
Well,
what do we
that's-
know, right? We don't know.
no, we don't, we want the
But
whole
that's-
road done.
Right,
Right, but he's gonna do the same thing, the only thing is, and I believe what has happened is he gave us his estimate, which is an estimate, of tonnage
Oh,
for
and-
that 1.1.
right.
So that's what he's
Right.
going by, that's what we got a number for, is his estimate or your driveway cost for
Okay.
1.1. He
Okay.
didn't give us a price for the 1.3.
Right, he didn't go to Brockway
I
Mills.
understand, okay.
So he only gave Mike the price to pave his driveway, he didn't give him the price to pave the driveway and the
And your
walkway and
driveway.
my driveway.
Incidentally, I paid
Well-
nothing this year, just so.
he also gave us, it's by 19 and it's coming out, it's 20-foot wide.
Oh,
19,
so-
so that's taking.
oh,
Well, that's-
a little
that
extra
adds up.
time,
That's-
too.
A lot.
That's huge.
It is, but there's a lot of shit.
I
So-
think we just leave it alone.
Yeah,
Do what
yeah.
we
Where it
can
ends,
do.
it ends.
Yep,
Ends it ends.
yep,
All
when
right,
the money
so-
runs out, the money, you
All
know,
right.
when,
What
yep,
you were planning on spending
I
it.
will
Yep.
calculate them, alright.
yep,
And
Because-
it'll be into next year's
And
budget.
I would prefer that when it comes to top coat, he starts on the French's Mills end and comes towards my house. Don't
Okay.
start at the bridge and go that way. Does
Okay.
that?
is that, why? Just- I have-
Because that end is all new hot top, you're coming down through from.
Okay, I see what you're
Oh,
saying.
You
That's
won't
the one
have that
scabby
little
spot
section in the middle.
Yeah, I don't wanna leave that in the middle, cause
I
you know what's gonna
I agree with
happen.
that.
Oh,
But it's gonna be
Okay.
better, you know, anyway, because of the shim, I mean, it's
Start
gonna be
east.
level.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, starting east.
east to west.
My clock says French's Mills end, you call it whichever way you want.
Newco.
There you go. Stop by Uncle Willie's.
No, that's,
That's already been
we already
done.
way past
I
that.
know.
He's not
Stop
getting
by his
another.
end of the road,
Yeah.
is what I meant.
Okay. All right, I'm,
That sounds.
that's the
a-
best,
Yeah,
we're making the
That's-
what, the lemonade out of lemons, I
Yes.
think.
Well, my only other concern is the weather, and we got all
Yeah,
this, we got all this
other
other
work
stuff we
to
gotta
do,
do.
so we need to,
He's gotta be going.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good decision, because we don't wanna run out of money with all these other things.
No,
Right.
Okay.
And you already have your motion to spend that amount of money, so you don't need nothing out of us, right?
Right,
You're good?
Anything else?
nope.
On to, new business, the new general assistance ordinance, is that, do we already?
Well, we
cover
need
that?
a motion to
Okay.
accept it, and then a signature.
make a motion to accept the new general general assistance ordinance that was presented to us tonight.
Second.
Any further? None? Let's vote. It is unanimous. We have an appointment. We've got a new road committee alternate in Diane Burritos.
And I forgot to print it, but you can still make the motion.
Okay, Was that something, just out of curiosity, did she ask to be on it? Or?
Well, she was here that
Right,
night, and
right.
it was suggested to me that maybe she would be interested, and maybe she might be a valuable member. So I called her, and she is interested and would like to do that.
Great,
Perfect.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to appoint Diane Burritos to the road committee as an alternate.
Second.
Any further? All in favor? It's unanimous. I think she could stand toe to toe with those guys on that committee.
Yeah,
She knows them all.
She has a background there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
There should be some good knowledge.
which is
there.
good.
Okay, C, the Eastler Road.
I forgot my folder, but let me just go grab it.
Lois and I had talked a little bit about roads
Oh, I
that
know these. Yes,
might
Is that the one by
need,
me?
might need abandonment.
that's the one that goes off,
Right, past Chris's.
right,
Oh, whew. I was thinking.
Wow, I
of the
can't
other one.
believe you spaced that one.
Don't ask me why, I was thinking the Pullen Road. That's what I seriously had in my head, only because Eastler lives on the Pullen Road.
oh.
And I always do that when
Oh.
I say yes.
So,
But that might be
just-
another one too.
Yeah.
As, so the Eastler Road, isn't it, okay, here, just so I know which road it is, it's the one.
It's French's Mills Road, and then
Straight,
keep
yeah,
going straight.
yeah, okay.
It connects to the line road.
Yeah, yep, there's a bridge that we built in there.
Meanders across the
Yeah.
railroad track and then
Yeah.
up,
I
and,
don't think you can get from the railroad track anymore to the line.
well, last time I was down there, I mean, I would do it with your vehicle, I wouldn't do it with mine. Cause it'd be
I
scratching
wouldn't
mine
do
all
it
up.
with mine, and that's, I'm not saying that.
So,
It's pretty
so,
rough in there.
Yeah, it's bad. When I was a kid, you would just go through there with car.
really?
Yep,
Wow,
All the way to the line road?
yep, not a problem.
wow.
In fact, I did it in a Vega, many.
No
many
reason why,
times.
cause I go down through that with my ATV, and when you come off from our end, and you come onto the railroad bed, to literally stand there and look over, you gotta pick and choose to try to see where it is. I mean,
Wow.
it's that much grown up in
Yeah,
there.
when I came
Really?
back up
Yeah,
here
on the other
6,
side of the tracks.
7 years ago, I went out with a truck and actually took the ATV road back, which you're not supposed to, but it was so bad, I knew,
Whoa.
and getting turned around was even gonna be hard.
Whoa.
But, yeah, so anyway, Lois has done some research on
I
this road.
have done some research on this road. So I messaged Pete Coughlin, he is the DOT in Augusta, and I asked him, what is the history that he has record? Because towns have to report to the state, distances of roads. And so he says in 1985, he had a handwritten list that says, 0.25 miles was maintained year round and 1 mile summer only, so it would be I'm not sure if it's 1 and 1.25, but it's,
It used to be, it changed, it used to be 1.25. Somewhere along the lines it changed to 1.
well, so in February of 90, he says the map says discontinued beyond the 1.25 mile mark, but still showing the 0.25 plus 1. In 96, the map shows the same 0.25 and 1, and in 2006, a review by Dick Drummond changed it to eliminate the 0.98 of summer only section, leaving the 0.17 mile year-round section. And then in March of 17, he and Pete went out and did the same thing, only 0.17 miles is being maintained. So he also included this map
Oh, yeah, yep.
that shows the 0.17 mark.
Do you still have,
So there's these-
not so much you, does the office, sitting at your desk up on the shelf, there used to be a nice little book that had all of our roads and all of our discontinuations in it. And all of our history. It's not very thick.
I have that, it's not
But
in
that,
here.
yeah, but that had a lot of, it was more of a journal type.
Yes, and it went through like all your town meetings, and
Yep.
it had the
Yep.
beginnings of when they were accepted and then when they
Yep.
were discontinued, and that, I do have that.
So from the conversation that I had with Mr. Woodbury when he was here, the way, for whatever, that discontinuation, I believe it was at 1.2, the way that was worded when it was done was it was discontinued beyond the Eastler Farm.
But
And that's
that's,
why the distance is part of the contention because of how the verbiage was. It didn't say at the beginning of the easterly line, but he said it actually verbiaged the farm. So that opened it up to people to believe, well, is it at the beginning of the property, which was considered the farm, or is it at the back property line, or?
well, where is the farm? I mean.
Exactly,
Well, no, I'm just asking, cause
Well,
I'm
the
not
farm is
familiar.
on a piece of high ground, and then it goes downhill to the railroad tracks and a stream. The stream and the railroad tracks are right together there.
So that's after the 1.25 mile.
But I don't know, the farm property could have gone all the way to the railroad
I
tracks.
believe it did.
But-
But like right now, you could drive your car to that 1.25 miles. It's that decent of a,
You could certainly drive to the actual building, the farm.
from that point on,
It's bad.
we'll take my Jeep.
Well,
Sorry.
there's been some conversation about, apparently somebody that's a property owner down there added gravel. Was that before, in that 1.25 or after the 1.25? Within that 1.25. So the question is, why did he believe that he could put that gravel if it wasn't discontinued?
Because they've all said it's discontinued. There again, I believe that there was federal money through the farm program that rebuilt the bridge in there too.
Yep. Because I was part of rebuilding that bridge.
And
What
does
year
that
was
mean
that?
we have to maintain the road?
Oh.
I have no idea, because I think it was part of
Is
it.
that the bridge that they were gonna take out
Yeah.
with
I don't-
culverts?
Is it?
It's right here. Well, I mean, you
It's
can't.
not in there very far.
Well, it should be right there, because you can see right the water.
No,
No?
it's almost with that,
Okay.
it's almost
It
up
would
in
have been
here. It's not in there very far.
7 years ago, maybe? 8? No, longer
Well,
than that.
this
Longer
brings
than
us
that.
to another
Okay.
part of the story is, Chris has some culverts. He's going to remove a bridge and put the culverts in and then fill it. That's his plan. He got these culverts because they were old, used culverts.
They were discarded.
Right. But there's some concern there that could be interpreted as
Oh.
Sangerville put culverts in there.
Sure.
Oh.
So Chris hasn't done that.
And when I talked to MMA, they said that sporadic. Chris also told me that probably 7 or 8 years ago that the town gave somebody a culvert to put in there. And they said that MMA legal, I don't remember if it was Rich Llewellyn, I think it was. He said that doesn't mean that it's town maintained. He said the town, even though it gave them the culvert, that's not necessarily considered road maintenance in enough that would, null the 30-year
But in
abandonment.
theory, if
or-
you gave somebody materials for a public easement, that's supposed to be approved by the town. To spend money on a public easement, you need permission.
Well, it's
No,
still-
not on a public easement.
It's still ours.
No,
It's not a public easement.
because if it's an easement, because this was the question that we had on the Gray Road, that Mr. Cleaves asked, if we discontinue that section down over the hill towards Flanders, can he maintain it?
He
And
can.
He can,
But we can't.
right, we're not
But
maintaining
if
it.
we give him materials.
We didn't give him
No,
materials.
I didn't say we
Well,
didn't,
careful.
but in another
We did.
instance, we did.
Well, in another instance, yes,
So
but
then-
that's not,
And
that
we gave-
didn't mean we gave him that
To do
to
that
do
work.
that
And that
work.
would be a good argument.
Well, we
He
gave
just
him
has
the
to be.
material knowing that's what he's gonna do with that work.
But we didn't ask him,
Doesn't matter, that we did.
doesn't matter, no,
It's no different than we haul material down. We
No,
haul
If
ditch
we had an
material down.
understanding that that's going into that road, you may have a problem.
That's what I'm
If
saying.
you have an understanding that it's just for his collection, he can do anything he wants with it, you shouldn't have a problem.
And last year, we hauled all the ditching down on that property, down on that easement, down on that road. That's where it all is.
Yeah, well, he
We hauled every
wanted
bit
it.
of it.
He wanted it.
Well,
but it
what's
was a
your point with
resident
that?
that, it was a
Yeah.
resident that asked for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
But
Absolutely,
back
a
to the
resident
Eastler
asked for it.
Road. If we give culverts to a landowner that's knowingly going to improve that road, that could be problematic.
Yep, I would think it could be.
Well, I didn't give anybody culverts to knowingly
Okay,
I sold
And they
my
haven't done anything
scrap
yet either.
pile of culverts out there.
right, okay.
Okay.
And I did. I
Yeah.
sold it to him. He came in and he paid me, and I've got the receipt to prove that anything scrap I sold to him.
It just sounds like this road may be clunky enough that we
that
can't
we
just abandon it. There's so many bits of,
Yeah,
it might
It's-
require the same thing we did on the railroad.
Do we want to abandon it, the whole thing?
I think it's probably it's something that's worth considering. There's
Yeah,
some
no,
nice
I'm
properties in
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and right now, a lot of it's leased, but somebody could put a house lot in there and fight you for road maintenance.
Yes. I think
Well, and
this
we,
is one of many.
yeah, early on sort of said we were gonna,
Yeah, start cleaning
Start
these up.
cleaning them up.
continue
Yeah.
to address roads.
Now, some of these out there, we probably have good standing to just simply abandon.
Right.
But I'm not feeling it on
I
this
don't
one.
think I would feel that one. I would think where we could, I would rather go the other direction like we did before.
Yep, I think so.
Cause I don't, what did that really, that wasn't that bad of a deal. I mean,
Well, it's about $3,500 for
it's
the,
$3,500 to
yeah, but
get.
it's $3,500 is a pretty good peace of mind knowing that you don't have.
oh, yeah, no,
Oh,
I,
yeah, going
I
through
don't
the
think
it's too
seven
much money.
steps.
No,
Just-
I mean,
that's-
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a pretty cheap investment for
Yeah.
guaranteed
doing
outcome.
it,
Well,
Yeah.
if someone did put a house in there and now you're involved in any sort of a legal exchange as to what, you're gonna go through 3,500 like that.
yeah,
Very quickly.
Yeah.
yep.
So I think that's, maybe we
Should-
say, we're gonna
I think
address this
That's our
one.
next project,
Yep.
our next road,
Yep,
addressing a road.
Now, you-
discontinuance.
You
Yeah.
called around last time and got that, I can't remember the guy that you used.
From Appleton,
But I mean, that was the cheapest that you could
Buckland.
call around.
Yeah, the others were, he was 50% what everybody else was.
Good.
Okay, so what about this as a thought? What if you reached out to him and let him know that we may have 4 or 5 roads we wanna talk about this year? Would he be interested in something like that, and would he give us a better deal if, if he
Clean them all up.
Right, I mean, he could come down here and, spend 3 or 4 days.
That he knows he's gonna,
Sure.
yeah.
And it would be nice to know that, because then we would know how many of these roads we might
Go
wanna
ahead and
tackle,
do.
because, I mean, we're talking about the Eastler Road, but looking right at this map, I'd just as soon talk about
The
the
Grange
Grange Road.
Yep.
And I definitely wouldn't mind looking, I have no idea about the Poolin Road. As far as I know, there's no town, nothing at all there, but
Yeah, I don't think there
it'd
is.
be nice to know that, cause that used to go to Bean Hill.
Now
We
there's.
don't
an-
even, we don't maintain Poolin Road at all.
Correct.
Okay, so that would be
But
another.
it'd be nice to have that.
Oh, so we've got to, yeah, Poolin
We-
Road.
No different than,
And we might be able to just abandon that one.
correct.
You might
Yeah,
look
it
at
may
this,
not be
nothing
in this
for, since
conversation.
'86.
But it'd be nice to get some of this stuff officially taken care of.
Grange
Number
Road.
10 road.
Update a little book there.
I've never heard
Yeah.
of people talk about number 10 road all the time, but
Well, it's called number 10 road in Dexter. I'm not sure what it's
Yeah.
called here, but I can show you on the map where it is. My property nearly touches it. And it comes out right on that sharp corner after my house.
yeah.
And it's gated right now.
Huh?
You're coming back up from where we did the culverts and you got the field in the corner.
Who's got the gate on it?
It's, if you go right straight.
One of the
down.
abutters. And I know, in fact, it's PJ's son owns that land between me and the number 10 road. There's one house lot out of that, but he owns all of that. And, he believes he owns to the center line of the road, so does the guy on the other side, so he doesn't care that it's gated.
Oh, I
He has a
see.
hunting camp in there.
Oh,
So everybody's cool with
fine
that.
with it being
Yeah.
gated.
I don't see that one as an issue. I mean, that road is beyond a road, I mean, that's not really even a road.
Yeah.
But there
Yeah,
is
we-
somebody building, looks like somebody's gonna build a house down in there, and they're using, in
Oh.
fact, Peter brought this up to me, I'm glad. They're using the number 10 road as kind of their driveway to get down in there, and then they're going off into that big field? And they're doing some, groundwork in there. I haven't looked at it yet, but Peter told me about it. And he said, I don't understand why they would use that road rather than just start their own driveway. And I said, well, maybe they're gonna come back to
It's there.
French's Mills later. So you just never know how these things could spiral on you.
You bet.
Does it abuts, it has frontage on French's Mill?
It ends at French's Mills. Number
No,
10
this
road.
person that's building their land?
Yeah, that's what he sounded like to me. I'll look at it.
Is it in Dexter or Sangerville?
All of it's in Sangerville.
Sangerville.
All of it's in Sangerville. What happened is the Sebastian River, the mainstream, moves north there. And so you feel like you gotta go to Dexter. You do have to go to Dexter to get. We've got some nice properties over there that I really wonder if our assessor's ever seen, because you can't get to them from Sangerville. You have to go to
To
Dexter
Dexter to get to.
and then drive all the way in.
Oh, I wanna look at that map.
And in
after we're
fact,
done.
you sent me one that was for sale on Craigslist. It was a very nice place.
Huh, but you have to get it.
You gotta go to
See,
Dexter to see
that's-
it.
And the assessor did call me and ask me how do they get there, and I said, you've gotta go through Dexter, number 10 road in Dexter.
Yep.
And I didn't hear anything else from them, so I don't know if they found it or didn't find it.
You go up
but-
the Lake Shore Lunch, okay,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and you go
Oh,
up
yeah, yeah,
that,
yeah,
the
okay.
Crockett Road.
Yeah, yeah.
And number 10 is you take a right. And it's, as the crow flies, it's about 2 miles to my house
Off
that
of
way.
that road.
Yeah.
It seems, I
My
tried
wife
to go
walked
in-
it to town that way.
Really?
Yep.
I swear I must
Oh my
have,
God.
because I don't remember, I know I've been on a snowmobile, but I tried to get down through there last summer and I could have sworn I went way further than that and I never got to the end of it.
You know, it's
We're
a
gonna
pretty
have
easy walk.
Go for a
The
ride.
Dexter end's in pretty good shape.
I seemed like I went a lot more than 2 miles.
But I say the Dexter end, the truth is, there's quite a bit, there's several hundred yards on that side of the stream that are still, it's still Sangerville. And that's been
That's
developed
amazing.
pretty well.
Wow,
There's a lot of nice camps over there.
wow. What was that?
That was pretty bright.
What was that?
That
It's
when I get a
phone. Oh,
message or a phone call, the
gee.
strobe goes off.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Give me
My
epilepsy.
wife does that. It's in the car, good night time.
Oh.
Kristen
that's
does
not
it
good.
too.
Yeah, okay.
There's another road, and we don't need to, I mean, we have, but.
We could do a whole workshop
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this.
yeah. But, I know Blaine Newt has, over,
Mhm.
when there's
Yeah.
one that goes right through his property,
Yeah.
and he said, get on top of it, cause he said, it's
Is
just
it
a matter of
Isles?
time.
Yeah,
Not Islesboro, is it, or
No.
Isles
Something like that, and
something?
it was in my head,
Yeah, the Osborough Road is over there. I
Yeah.
didn't know when.
It is
across the property.
Islesboro.
Yeah,
It comes down on the other side of that house.
yeah, that was always
Yeah.
a snowmobile trail too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Because that's the culvert, when we paved that, when they did that ditching, they wanted that
Yes.
culvert out for the Ellsborough Road.
Oh,
The old, you know
It
where
goes this
Lawson's
side of the
garage
house.
is?
yes,
Okay, the old Dover Road goes behind that garage
yes,
and then,
yes,
okay,
yes,
the
yes.
Islesboro Road connects to that.
The what road?
The Islesboro
Oh,
Road.
Islesboro.
Okay, so that's another one.
Yeah, that's used, well, now they don't, that used to be a snowmobile trail, but with the railroad bed, they don't use
Right,
that anymore.
anymore.
So that's why I was wondering about that book, because that's, a lot of this stuff is just gonna be the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
well,
could just
should.
clean some up.
Sure.
I'm wondering if the book has selectmen's abandonments though, or if it's just town meeting
I think it had everything,
discontinuances.
it had a lot of information in there.
Yeah, I've got it, cause I had it when I was looking through the gray road.
Plus, I'd like to get our names in it.
No, but this would be a
This
good
is-
thing
We
to
already should
do.
be.
That's true.
Yeah, we are,
Yeah,
for the
the
Gray
Gray
Road.
Road.
Well, I
Yeah.
will scan it and email it to all of you, and you can all read from 1813 until
It
current.
is, well, and it is kind of, that's the cool.
It
That
is,
is
it
cool.
I like
is
the
cool.
history. I think
Yeah,
it's cool.
really cool.
Yeah.
But, so actually, speaking of that, that's, I don't know if you've done it, but you should put your entry in there for the Gray Road.
Yes.
Oh. I'm
So you can
wondering,
be a part of that history that's in there.
yeah, I don't know if I have an actual digital copy of it, I think it's just only paper copy.
It is, it's, yeah, but I would just, yeah, you're gonna have to put an entry in there.
That's a good idea now. Yeah, so that would be good. We should always be working on a road, just like the water ordinance.
The what ordinance?
But no,
And I did find this, I mean, this is, from the town garages on the Easel Road, it just, their maintenance log.
Oh,
So I
oh.
did, that's why I made a copy of that.
And when was the last entry?
2004,
Oh,
there was four loads of 2-inch minus from the South Sangerville Grange Road to Newt's Garage. In 2012, it just says graded. 2013, it says change and reset culvert, but I'm sure that's in that .17.
It is, it's the culvert, isn't it?
ah.
I remember that one.
So,
And that's where all the gravel was as well. But that's where, when you get into an abandon, I mean, you get into that, you know, that's what you have for a record is, well, how do you know that? You know what I mean? I
Right.
can see where
And the only
Exactly.
person that lives on there is
the .17 miles takes you from the French
Sally
Mills to the first telephone pole.
Oh, really? It
Yeah.
doesn't even get to his garage?
I don't believe it, I think it goes to the telephone pole.
Is this the only house
That's
on
down
this?
in here. From this section in is a pole, that's what I've always heard, it's the telephone pole down in there.
Geez, that's hard to believe, 0.17 should be like,
I
what,
know. Should be 3 or 4.
yeah, well,
But
it should
or
be
maybe
like,
it's that
say, 800
referencing-
feet?
Maybe
Well,
it's the
and I
last
thought
pole.
the arrow, see the yellow arrow?
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that 0.17?
That makes more sense
Isn't that why
to me.
he marked it with an arrow?
I don't know, no. If it
I
is,
think it
it's-
is.
If it is, that's not anything I've ever heard. I've always been told.
Here we're
0.07, 1 inch equals
point oh seven, but here's point, so this,
No, this is more than an
is
inch.
0.1,
Yeah,
right there.
Yes,
There's 0.1, so. There you
Mark
go.
me.
just mark the paper, yeah.
Yeah. So, right about there.
So if we start there,
Well, but don't, oh, yeah, but where does it start? Does it start here or there?
I would say it starts there.
Well,
I don't know.
No, it starts here.
Well, what do you call this?
That is,
That's the
Uncle
new
Willie's
extension.
connector.
Yeah, it's not really.
Yeah, it's, no, yeah,
pretty
no,
sure.
Dale, I agree with, right?
No.
I would say.
No, 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 it's
No.
Isla Road, right from French's Mill.
I agree, it has to
From
be.
Silver's Mill.
Just like it's South
It's a good
Sangerville
try.
Grange from here,
Okay, go ahead.
right? It's South
That's
Sangerville Grange
fine.
starts here,
Yeah.
not here.
Oh, right.
So we don't match up there either.
That's point two.
It's 0.25, that's the
Yeah,
0.25
yeah,
mark.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the bridge.
Is
Oh,
it?
that's where the bridge is?
That's real close to that
So
bridge.
he wants to take that bridge out?
Replace it.
Oh, make a new
It
one?
won't, it'll just be a
It's-
culvert.
It's
It's
a
quite a
culvert.
deep,
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
but with not
I
a
know.
ton of flowage.
The problem is the bridge isn't
I
in the
don't
right,
remember
the
that.
bridge isn't shaped right. The bridge doesn't, if you get out there and look the way the water runs.
Yeah,
The way the bridge
it's not,
is,
it's not
Right.
perpendicular?
it doesn't really line up.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that's the problem, it's not so much the bridge is going right, the water is
I
actually coming under
see.
instead of
It's,
through it.
okay.
Okay, so I mean, this is a beginning discussion
Yeah.
of a bigger project.
Yeah, I
kind of
like that.
housekeeping, but,
Another cool part,
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I do too.
Yeah, me too.
All right,
All
so
right.
let me know when you come up with some more of the roads, I'll do some of the research. So
So
that
you
we
have
can say
Alpha.
that I'll have 4 or 5 roads when I
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
That's good.
Fred Buckland is his name.
A lot of them just might be confirmation.
Right, right. And, you know, not that I don't wanna do the work, but sometimes if the roads have been renamed and you've lived here, you're gonna know. So that's why I'll
Yeah,
scan
I
that
think a
book.
workship with the road committee.
Yeah,
Because
that's,
those guys,
they
are
know
gonna
them.
have, some-
Yeah.
they're gonna
Yeah,
know
they
a
have a
lot of
lot of-
stuff.
Yeah,
You're just gonna have to remember what you learn out of that, we're gonna have to confirm, because a lot of this things,
hearsay, yeah.
you know, it's like McNaughton Hill Road. There's that section in the middle of that that I've always heard is discontinued, but when I've asked, when? I mean, I know we don't maintain anymore in the middle, but I don't know when we stop doing that.
Was that the one that turns into Kittredge Road?
The Kittredge Hill section is what we've discontinued. So yes, it's McNaughton Hill off the Eastler Road, on from East Sangerville, you go in through, you're still going straight ahead and it just stops at an intersection and we say that's Kittredge Hill from then in. And it's the same deal, that goes down and it takes a right and it's still Kittredge Hill and then you're still on the same road and it's, we discontinue it and we say that this is Rockaway Mills now. But it's not at,
Oh.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I don't know, but that, maybe that's how they did that, maybe that's how they did discontinue that, was from.
by naming it.
By a
something
certain footage from East Sangerville in and from Silver's Mills in, I have no idea, but
Okay.
it would be nice to get confirmation, because there's a lot of lots up through that section
Yeah, and
that,
then when
and there is a
somebody
couple
buys.
houses up in there, right?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So,
Yeah,
as far as I know, that's abandoned, but it'd be nice to know that it's all properly done, so
Yeah.
we're okay.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
So,
Very good.
And now on to some not so good news. New insurance rates.
okay, so you have the copy, everybody should have a copy. They're increasing, so if we'd gone with POS A or C or POS 200, PPO 500, they're only increasing those rates 4%. But the lower rates, they're increasing 7%. On the good news part of it though, everything that's under the chart, your dental, your vision, your IPP, none of that is being changed. So they're only affecting the actual health insurance rates. So that being said, you have in your personnel policy that you're only allotting that dollar amount that was allowed for the total fee for PPO 2,500. So are you going to still only keep it the $734.38, or are you going to cover the 100% of the cheaper policy price?
Which one were we on?
This
The PPO 2500, and they actually deleted, well, they've got it lifted.
It's still there.
I thought they eliminated the PPO 1500. That's what anyway, and POS 200. Those were the three plans I think that we had.
That we said were on the
Yes,
plan.
yes, and one of them was, I know one of them was deleted because they called me, it was one of them that we had picked, even though we didn't
Oh.
have anybody enrolled in it. So we
So
could
it's
have
still
picked a
on
different,
here, right?
it is still on here, which doesn't
Can you
make
get
sense.
confirmation on
Yeah.
that?
I will.
I mean,
So-
personally, I don't care which three plans we.
Right,
pick.
and
I mean,
it
that's-
doesn't really-
Yeah, I mean,
The bottom line
You're
is I
looking at
don't
the-
wanna pay this much.
right.
Lois, right now, is everyone on the PPO 2500?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And so it went from 7:30.
734.38.
Right.
Oh, so this is affecting you too, Jody?
Yeah, right, I know that. So, and it's going up to 785.
Yeah.
So the question is whether we want to, whether
Do
we
you
want
wanna-
to
right.
continue to provide that one, and then if people want the others. So we're talking, and that's per month, obviously,
Yep.
and,
50 bucks.
yep. 50
Three
bucks.
people, 150 bucks. 12, what's that?
Times 12,
Yeah.
yep. 15 times 12,
I don't really have a problem.
I have no problem.
yep,
Okay, so
yep.
I was almost, seriously, I was wondering, do we wanna continue what we're doing and have this conversation every year? Or should we amend what we wrote and have it actually say that we would?
Provide 100% of the PPO 2500.
the only reason I wouldn't do that is you never know.
Right.
Yeah,
I
well,
agree.
If-
but I
if
mean, yes,
this
that's
thing-
fine either way.
Let's say
Yeah.
this thing doubles next year,
Yeah.
we
It's
might say,
best.
guess what, we're paying 50% of insurance, everybody.
Yeah, it's best to visit.
That's the way it's gonna
It takes
be.
2 minutes to visit it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
every-
no,
every
that's
year.
fine.
Yeah.
Plus it keeps us informed.
Yep,
Yes.
But I don't have a problem with this increase, I would make a motion that we accept this increase and
I agree.
maintain the
I
same.
mean, second.
In
But
favor?
on the discussion note, that just tells me that what we did do for a change is what everybody else is doing, because like what you just said.
Yeah.
Everybody's taking that plan, that's why it went up. Everybody's moving from them higher plans, they're all moving down there, so they have to raise that one 7% instead of the 4, cause that's where all the
They're, yeah, because
money
they're
is.
trying to bring it more into
Sure.
line with, yeah.
Well, they only have so much cash flow,
That's right.
So their
And we've
bucket
got X
moved,
number of claims.
so they have to bring, now there's more people over here,
Yeah.
so they have to increase that higher, cause they still need X amount of money.
Right.
So, yeah. So that just will work in line with what everybody else is doing.
Good.
But nothing else went up, all those other services, all those other benefits are the same, that's
The other
good.
ones don't usually. I mean, for me,
On occasion they do.
Minimal,
I
but
mean,
it's-
yeah, minimal.
Are they on here? I don't even see them.
Dental,
Yeah, is
Yeah.
it on here?
Yeah.
Where is it? I don't see.
what, your
Oh.
freight cost?
Oh, dental, I see.
and then
Vision.
there's
Oh,
the
okay, I
vision,
see.
the income protection, long-term disability, life insurance.
And those, obviously, we don't pay for, but
You
people can
pay,
choose them,
you cover 80% of dental and 80% of income
Oh.
protection,
but no vision.
but no vision. But we added it for
For
the
the employee only.
person to
Right,
buy
right.
and their cost.
Right,
Their dollar, not any town dollar.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can add, upgrade whatever they want. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
Right, and single only for the dental, I mean, it's not family or anything, it was single only, so.
Okay.
Right, but that's the same way though, I mean, so like if there's an employee and a spouse and they wanted that 74, we would just pay the 43 still, right? They
You
could
pay
still-
80% of the
Yeah.
43.
That's what I'm saying, but I mean,
Yes.
if somebody wanted that and they wanted to pay that difference, they're,
Yeah, I have the family coverage and I pay the difference, I
Yeah.
pay, I don't know, 25, 30 bucks a week for dental.
And this is effective January 1st, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll have to tell them.
so I've got a motion, to accept the PPO 2,500 and a second, at the full cost, that the town will cover.
Any further discussion?
so,
Let's vote, it's unanimous.
And,
Go ahead.
well, just for the record, because Lois said it, that it affects me, I do have the insurance through the town, but I pay for it in full from my own.
Okay, on to, old business, item 8, none. Correspondence,
No,
no.
I had something, but it's going in the budget committee folder, so that's why.
Request for additional agenda items, none. Executive session, I do have a suggestion. I have a concern that I think warrants a discussion with regard to ethical standards and the board. And I've referenced the Town of Sangerville Code of Ethics Policy, which was adopted in May of 2015. And there's a procedure for this. It says, when a selectman believes that there has been a breach of ethical standards set forth herein by another board or selectman, in this case the board, he or she may ask to enter into executive session pursuant to 1 Maine Revised Statute 405 for the purpose of informal discussion and resolution, in this case, of the concerns. So I am making a motion for that.
Second.
Any further discussion? We vote. It is 6:12 and we're going into executive session. You do that? Okay, it is 10 after 7. Make a motion that we come out of executive session.
Second.
Those in favor? We are now back in session. As a result of this executive session, I'm going to make the motion that Jody Cabot will abstain from any HAD4 matters.
Second.
Any further discussion? We'll vote. It's unanimous, 2. Jody, would you?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, what I'd like to do as a result of this is have my name redacted or removed from the letter that we issued on, when did we do that? No,
10:23.
10/23, and Lois, if you will, to everyone that received the letter via email, just gets a note that my name has been removed from that letter, please.
I have no objection to that.
None.
Anything further? Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn, second.
Second? That's all in favor. We are now adjourned.